Okay, so this probably won't be super long, but there was some stuff I wanted to talk about. And I do have the red light on Stella, so if you see a red glare, that's what it is. So I went out to go to get my mammogram and stuff, got that completed. And I was like, okay, then the next payment, then there's only one thing left, except for, getting to the surgery and it all being completed. But I don't know, I like to check off the stuff like another thing done, another thing done. And it feels good when it's like, I don't know, it's rolling downhill now. It's like headed into the gate. So, but this was weird. And when I went and got water, it was weird. Something weird was going on. I don't know what the hell. This weird thing, like somebody's homemade camper truck thing or something was there blocking because it's like a little swerve in off the side of the road. You pull in, you could swerve in, and then there's this pipe coming out of the side of the hill, and it goes down into a stream. It used to just be water who would rush, but people put in a pipe and tested it and stuff. And then there was some more weird pipes sitting up there. There was some more weird stuff. There was a lot of weird stuff sitting around. And then there was this weird thing that was broken down, just sitting there, taking up the whole space. And I was weird. And so that was creepy. That the water was going really fast. So I got my water quick and I headed into town and I went and got to my appointment. Well, I got to the grocery store and I only had a small amount of money to spend. And everything that I was going to get was like marked down. I was so crazy. So I got a lot more stuff for the amount of money I had because the universe was working magic. And so I got a bunch of stuff, so that felt good. And then I went to my appointment and it was weird. So there was a guy who was in front of me in line. And so he was taking a while, so I went to go pee. And then I came back and there was another guy in line. And then he was taking forever. Oh my God, I couldn't believe how long he was taking. So I'm just standing there and waiting and waiting. Then the other guy who was first, he comes walking up behind me. And so then I'm just standing there waiting and waiting and waiting. And then, so the guy who's just standing there now waiting too. And he goes, well, when she finishes with him, would you mind if I just hurry up and see if I could get a pen? That's all I want is a pen. And I said, yeah, sure. And I kind of looked around and the room seemed so empty. And I kept noticing like it had this candy thing, like where you put in the quarters or the dimes or something, and they've got like a stack of 4 on top of another stack of 4, and all of them were empty, and all the little booths and stuff, everything just seemed super empty. And so I just was kind of like making small talk, and I said, I told him, yeah, sure. I said, yeah, it's weird. There's nothing sitting around. It's like no little things in the windows or anything with pins or anything. And I said, even the candy thing's empty. And he just like looked around like he had no, like, I don't know. I don't know how people live. I don't know what people pay attention to. And this guy he's got me tripping out. So then he goes up to the girl. I'm trying to think, how did this go down? Oh, yeah. Okay, so he got his pen, and then he went and sat down, and I started filling out his stuff. And so then I was sitting there, and he went back up to the window. I don't know if he took his papers up there. He went back up to the window, and so he's sitting there talking to this girl, and they start talking about their house prices. Like I don't know if they were talking about like his change of address and him moving, and he started saying, yeah, he got because she couldn't believe that he got to move and got a loan. And he's like, yeah, well, we didn't get that great a deal. We got kind of a high interest rate, but and we paid over the price and stuff, but we got a house, so we're lucky. And they're like, oh yeah. And kids, they keep saying they're never going to be able to buy a house. Like my kids say they'll never be able to buy a house. Like, this is so trippy, this conversation. And so, I'm just like chomping at the bit. I'm just sitting there like, and so I'm feeling like I should say something, like see something, say something. Like I'm thinking, okay, this guy's gonna be devastated because when it starts with the crashing, it's going to crash those kinds of loans first. Like they're going to the people who are in what is it called? It's like underwater. There's a whole name for it. It happened. It happened like to a lot of people in car loans, because you could go trade your car back in, but then you had to keep piling on this car loan, and then your car wasn't worth enough to be able to take out a loan. So you always hit into a wall, and then you had to come up with extra down payment because this was their game of playing. But so, anyways, so the loans that are going to be underwater, so the ones that had, it's all, and they sold a shit ton of houses. I couldn't believe how much construction I drove by on the way. And I'm like, oh, okay, so the economy's crashing and these fucking motherfuckers just continue to stay out here pulling their shit, building shit. And, it was something, what they were saying too, because I was feeling like, oh my gosh, should I say something to this guy, because he's going to be so sad, he's going to be devastated and freak out when all of a sudden, this house he's got, and they say it isn't worth anything. They may call in the loans. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. It's all the different people's awakening and stuff. So and then I was like, this is also that thing, just because you know something, but then it's like with the people who cross your path, and then when you feel like, well, I guess I should say something. I mean, like, and so they were talking and about the house prices being driven up and stuff, and I said, well, that's the LLCs, because they were like, the woman was like, these Californians, they're selling their expensive houses and then they're coming here and just buying the houses cash. It's like, because I learned about this. Remember, I've talked about this. I learned way back in what was that? Because my daughter was born in 94, so like in 92 or something. When they were doing that in Spokane, when they came in and bought all the houses by cash and then drove the prices up. So she was like, well, they just, all these Californians coming over here with their cash and buying these houses, and we can't afford to buy these houses. And then he goes, well, I came from California and I sold my house, but I didn't have that much money to do that. And, but I got a house, and, we didn't get a great deal, but, we got a house, like that whole little story thing. And that is when I said, well, it's the LLCs and the corporations that are buying up all the houses and driving up the costs and inflating everything. Once the economy crashes, then your kids will be able to buy a house. Just tell them to wait until the economy crashes and buy silver. And the woman behind the desk, she just looks at me like, I don't remember what she said. The guy, though, this guy. So he goes, I don't know if I can say it exactly, because he was like, so, what did he say first? So, you think the economy, that there's going to be, economy is going to crash or something? I don't know. And I said, yeah. And he said, I said, don't you? And he said, no, I think it's going to recover. And I said, I almost started cracking up. Like, I almost blurred. I mean, the grin that went across my face showed that I was about to crack up. That was holding back a laugh. I was just like, what? And he's like, I thought he's joking. Like, what the fuck? You think the economy's going to bounce back? Like, how brainwashed are you? What are you paying attention to in life? And so he's like, yeah. As a matter of fact, I'd like to meet back here like next year, and let's talk about it so I can show you like how it came back. And I was just like, okay, yeah, let's see what happens. I don't even. I said, I don't remember. I don't think I said much. I don't think I said too much. I may have said, well, I don't think it's coming back. Uh, and I think you should get silver. He thought that's when I said you should get silver, and he's like, no, well, like he thought that was wacky, and you should. The economies get bounced back, like, just ride it out. It's like this is like it's the end of an age. It's the end of a currency. It's the end of, like, this is the ending. Like, all this stuff is ending. And for God's sakes, it's a good goddamn thing. Because Amy had sent me some TikToks, and it was a woman, and I've seen tons of these ladies. There's so many of them. These women who have been a part of the traffic, a part of like really bad stuff from the time they were young, and they saw lots of bad things. And so I don't, I've heard enough where I was like I don't listen to all this stuff, because it was like, I don't know, like when you know about the frazzle drip thing, and there's like different audios and stuff that have been released. There's just different stuff, and it's just like horrifying. And like you can picture the whole scene of what they did to that little girl, when like the story. It's like, unless you, I don't know, unless you have no visual creative ability. But anyways, it was horrible. But so I had said something like, I've seen so many of these, they're so horrible. And she said that, this is the first one where she had seen, the actual person telling their story. And and she said, and then she sent me another thing, and she said, this is what got my interest, and it's an affidavit. And so in this video series, the woman is talking about the problems that she's having to get over the judicial. And because on the dates, this is from 22, and that's what I had said, because some of the stuff she was saying, it's like, oh, cool, this is good and exciting, all this disclosure and stuff. But then it was, then I was like, oh man, 2022, damn it. Like, God, sometimes it's just drags and drags. And like it's been dragging. And so she sent me this thing and said, this is where I got the interest, is when I read this. And it's a clip thing out of the affidavit. And it is the names of all of these, like, you imagine that core group of, the guys that live in the White House, that they had a party where they all got together, like the ones that you think of are the most pervy, weird. And in this thing, they have this is something that I had learned about like a long time ago when I was young, that this is like something they do in some other country. I don't know where, and I don't know if they've stopped being able to do it. But it's so fucking heinous. And it's in a movie. It's shown in a movie, but I don't remember what one. But so they will put a monkey in a table, like they'll capture, like hold a monkey, like it's captured like this, but this part is above, so this part is on the table. And then they will go around and cut a circle. So they just go around like whatever this cap thing, and cut that, and then take the skull off, and then eat this while it's alive. So I thought that was so heinous when I had heard about that. And and then like I've said before, like these different cultures and different, it's like all these different beings and cultures and stuff are all, it's like we can't go around setting the rules for the whole world, and it just is always astounding to me. Is like, how do people hurt other beings or other people so much? Like, what is the disconnect? Like, what the fuck, man? But this is like all these men of power of this little guest house reunion. It wasn't a monkey. It was an 8-year-old. And it's affidavit. I'm pretty sure it was an 8-year-old. It could have been younger. I don't know. Like, and so she can't. And the reason it's like this older day is that they're putting through the judicial obstacle course. And they keep trying to get this case thrown out and stuff, but there's a bunch of them. Like, she's not the only one. So there's like, it's like everything is picking up momentum. There's some weird thing going on with, Barack right now, like some connection that he has. I guess if he is the one who created the ISIS situation, and then that's weird when you say that. Because isn't that what they would call them a lot back, 40 years or something? Like in the 40s. And they call, say that S and do it again. Like, that's weird. Like, all of the signs were always right there. When we were all oblivious like that man. And I just couldn't believe it. Like, he thinks that this is going to bounce back. Like, he really thought I was completely a moron. And that, he wants to come back and prove it to me. Like, how our country's going to come back. Oh, it's coming back, but in a completely different way. Like, and that, there's more stuff on the bridge collapse thing. That, like, there was a guy who works that kind of thing, and he said that the whole situation, the whole scene is off. It should be a boat that is like a carrier boat or something, a lead boat. The same thing as like when they move like those big wide loads, and they have those, what are those things called? A little truck that drives in front of them and behind them. So on the shipping thing, they have to have that too. And they have to have these ones, and then there's other, like they have to do these horn signals. There's more things where they're like, no, this is, and the person who was doing that video said, don't forget that that there's a repercussions for some other thing going on too. And the thing about the Russia disaster, all of that big thing with the 137 people gone, that they it's that, the those people who Barack created, they're taking claim to it. So all this stuff is just twisting around and twisting around. But man, these motherfuckers are evil. Like, how in the fucking hell? Like, it's one thing to terrorize and torture somebody, but motherfucking eat people alive. Like, what in the hell? And that's in all these like, I've watched so many vampire movies. I swear to God, it's almost like my piece of go-to because it was so, when I was a little kid, and those scary movies, I would stay up on Friday nights, and or if it was Saturday night, I don't remember. It was whatever night it was that they would have it was like a scary movie show, and then they would show some old scary movie, and they would have like Wolfman, Frankenstein, vampires, Dracula, and that is like, and those were my favorite things. So I loved Christopher Lee, Roddy McDowall. I want to say David Niven, but it's not David Niven. It's he always kind of looks like him to me. It doesn't matter. But anyways, all of those movies, and they'd have the Mummy, Godzilla, and it was always kind of disappointing when they would have like Godzilla, because the monster movies, those kind didn't seem believable. The other ones, like the vampires and Frankenstein, they seemed believable, and because I knew. It's because I knew on the inside that was fucking real. Godzillas and stuff like that. That's, they've got freaking things. Supposedly they're trying to fucking hatch out dinosaur, like doing all sorts of shit. They're always doing shenanigans. And there's supposedly evidence of humans and dinosaurs living together and stuff. Like, there's been all sorts of different realities. I'm sure you can dig up, you know, just think about if you went into every single, what are those things that keep opening up? Like sinkholes. Like if you went into every sinkhole, all these sinkholes opening up, that's realities. If you went in and dug out every one, you find all sorts of different things, different experiences, like all different movies. So anyways, whatever I was saying about that. So the guy, the politics, they're all a bunch of sick motherfuckers. Is what they fucking are. God damn, I can't wait till they fucking go down. And they keep showing like these videos and stuff for like, oh, they constantly need someone's help. Like, I don't know if it's just a part of the show to just really drive it home that these people are fucking ancient relics. Because they are fucking, no telling. Half of them are probably fucking shapeshifters. Probably half of them are 1,000 years old. And they're all a bunch of fucking weirdos. And they don't have any compassion for us. They don't care about anything with us. And there's also some more like hidden stuff about the bridge thing too. Is the guy who wrote the song of the Star Spangled Banner or whatever, is like the bridge is named after him or something. And so somebody was saying like it's the collapse of that bridge because it's the collapse of that America. But the America that won the Tea Party never won the Tea Party. That was all a lie. That was all just trickery. So, yeah, I mean, I know that all of this stuff is going down. Like the government is going down. All of this stuff is, you know, exposing us to all of these crimes and these criminal people who have been running the world. I mean, you think about that. Their kind of dinner party, and that they're making rules for us. They're telling us if we're immoral or we have to go to jail. People who are hungry for stealing food. People who are sad and depressed for doing drugs. And you want to like, oh man, that's some bullshit, man. But anyways, this is, you know, what we're waking up to. And another thing too is don't get stuck. I think like some of this stuff is so heinous. It's easy to just get really stuck and just be like, oh, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. And, you know, not being able to sleep and stuff. And you got to keep moving through it. It is, it's kind of very murky. But if you stay too long, it's like quicksand. It will suck you in. You've got to keep working your way through the murk. And don't get sucked in. You know, and it's challenging. This is going to be challenging stuff. You know, I mean, there's people out there who literally think that the economy is coming back, that they have no clue at all. And this is one thing too, is I was like, okay, so this is going to go slower still with the economy crashing, because there's people like that. There's people out there who are like that. They are, have no clue. So so I was thinking what they'll probably kind of do is how they can do it slow is like with the housing thing, like how they already were saying, like there's all these economists saying the housing market is going to crash, this whole thing. And it's all set up. And I mean, and they're just out there just wasting money away, you know, building shit. Like it's mental. It's so wasteful. I just can't stand wastefulness, you know. And then it's just depleting this place, depleting the energy. And I got a horrible headache again. I don't know if the last time I got a horrible headache, if I had gone out, but fuck, man, it is like going out into that energy. And I'm gonna have to go again when I get paid, because I only, you know, spent a little bit, and then I'm just going to spend a little bit again because I want to make that one payment. After I make that payment, then I have one left, and then it's just like I'm sliding into home. And I know like the the universe has my back on all this. Like, I know it's going to get done. And so I also put that into, like, but I could also, something could happen and move the appointment up. So, you know, I can't just guarantee you, like, well, the economy's going to stay until I get done. Because, you know, I mean, anything can happen. But to me, it feels like that they will do a kind of a slow kind of thing. Like, man, there's going to be a lot. And this was an old guy, an old white guy, you know, just the kind of guy who gets up and reads the paper, turns on the news, complete brainwashed, has seen the government pull some shenanigans. They always pull through, was probably supports, who knows what party he supports. I'm in Washington State, so it's heavy on my side. The side I'm on is heavy on blue. But on the east side of Washington State, it's heavy on red. So, and it's hard to say because of what, you know, I mean, Joe's whole legacy is to destroy the blue. So, so it's like a lot of people are turning the other direction. But this guy, he was very vigorous. I'm like, I'm not surprised that he, well, I mean, but he could be completely supportive of the red, and that's where he's like, oh, no, he'll, you know, he'll get back in and he'll fix everything. He'll fix the economy. It's like, well, that's not what's going to go down. It's going to go, the economy's going to crash under Joe, because Joe will be blamed for crashing, destroying the United States, and in so many different ways. And there's so much more stuff coming out on Diddy now too, and the involvement, even on the footage where his the FBI and stuff are out at the house. A neighbor pulls up and starts saying they've got kids going in and out of there all night. He said buses pull up at 3 a.m. full of kids, and he said there's bad shit in this place. So, like, neighbors knew and stuff. I don't know how. And another thing with his house is he has a fucking underwater tunnel. Like, that's when you're really up in their fucking business, when they can get to you with their submarines. They're all underneath the water, going around. Like, these people are, oh my God. And you know, and they build their lives off of poverty. You know, women who can't make it, who are sold out from their families to people who do traffic and stuff, taken to baby making farms. They're treated like the same thing as dog breeders. You know, I mean, if they, once they get used up, then, well, you know, they got no purpose except for being in somebody's sausage. So, anyways, you know, they don't treat them like human or anything. Their life is just a different kind of experience. But they have the just give birth, just, it's like, you know, I always heard like veal was baby cows, and that was the most delicate meat. Well, so think about that. That's what they're doing. They're they're having these women give birth for, so immediately they have these, that's what they're just giving birth for just that. And it's not like the meat. It is the energy. It is the pure energy. Like, there's going to be weird stuff that I think is going to keep coming out about it, because I keep seeing weird stuff where, you know, it is it's the energy that they get. That's why they terrorize and stuff. So whatever electrical charge, so when this is missing the top and it's knowing that you're doing like, it can hear, but it can't feel. Because remember what I said, like in brain surgery and stuff, that you are awake. They keep you awake. So then, oh my God, it's so disturbing. Is the girl who talks about, says that they, you know, they're aware that they're being eaten at some point. Oh my God. Oh my God. This place, oh, it's like, oh my God. I thought just thinking about crocodiles and sharks and grizzly bears eating you was bad enough, mountain lions. But, Jesus fucking Christ. This place, like, And they're trying to tell us it's civilized. This is civilized. So we got civilized people running us. Jesus Christ. Oh, I can't wait for this. Oh, God. Can't wait for the ending of this business. So, but we got to be like towards that, like the endings. Like Crystal was saying, she's in Oklahoma and they're getting these notifications all the time. There is some guy on Twitter who said that there was going to be a disaster in Baltimore today. And he is also saying there's going to be the giant earthquake, the 9 giant LA earthquake fault line, maybe the one that's going to split it. I don't know, but he said there's going to be a big ass earthquake. It's going to happen June 8th. So I don't know. I don't know where he's getting his information. I know like there's Looking Glass and stuff like that. And I had said there's going to keep being more and more stuff. And, you know, there's going to be more and more. Like it definitely makes me think like, oh, do I need to be out of here by June? But I don't know, guys. I was thinking about maybe going to Spokane or something to do the recovery, because then I didn't have to do so much. Like my mom said, why don't you come here and then you don't have to be picking anything up or doing anything, you know, I'll do it, you know, for a couple weeks. And so I could go over there, which would probably be better. But, you know, you can't run from the inevitable, because then it would be, you know, the super volcano would go off. So anything can happen. There's no running from it. But so there's all these people who are getting these warnings and stuff. They're closing down schools. Another woman just said that her husband's business closed down for 2 weeks, their lumber business. And they're told all the employees that they have to go get unemployment for 2 weeks and that they'll open back up after the eclipse. Like I don't know. It seems like there's going to be some stuff that's going to go down. So if it is going to be that we're going to go down without power or whatever, but remember the biggest thing is like when we go down without power, you would think like that would be when they would have some attacks that would go on. And this face punching women in the streets of New York is much bigger. There's like a whole bunch. And there were so many that they kept feeling like they were in the wrong or something because they were looking down. And so don't be looking down. Like when you are out, you got to be up looking around. It's like that. I think that they are looking for those of us who were not paying attention. And but it's kind of like the universe waking you up too. It's like get you to pay attention. Because that one girl, she's like, I'm not looking down from my phone anymore when I'm walking. It's like, yeah, you get punched in the fucking face. That's brutal. But it's gonna be brutal in these cities and stuff through, you know, as this stuff continues to play out. And whatever's gonna go down. And like this guy is completely wrong. The economy is going to crash. The housing market will go down. This is the taking down of these LLCs, and this all this stuff has to go down. Just like how they had set up all their retirements, screwing these people. Like these people are not going to realize how this is going to work when the housing market crashes, and that takes their retirements with it. They're not going to see it coming. And that is going to cause so much mayhem and chaos. And so there's a lot of this stuff that has to play out. And then they still have the market. There'll probably be a lot of market instability, where it'll be like a ship going through a storm, going from one side to the other. It'll be like all over the place probably, and then it will go for a crash. Once that crashes, that has got to be when the dollar and stuff goes down. That's when the banks and everything is done for. It's all finished. We're done with that. And we're going to be going, whatever period that we have in between, then we'll be going into the quantum thing. Supposedly the quantum thing's already set up. It's already running. And this is all just a big show. So whatever goes down, you know, just remember it's about lessons. But I think any of you guys who are listening to me, I mean, none of you guys are like that guy. Like you guys all have awareness of what's going on. You're paying attention and, you know, hopefully getting yourself situated for what's to come. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people like him that are not going to see this coming. And it's going to have a huge effect on them. Like, you think you lost your retirement, you think you lost all your money, your house, and everything. And then I was thinking probably, there's going to be some stuff that I said when it happens, it will come back to him, like the seed that was planted. And hopefully, my smile, when he remembers my face, that smile will give him peace, where he won't feel so scared, where he'll think like, okay, some people were expecting this. So just got, one thing is like learning how to ride stuff out, but also you have to be able to learn from it. All this stuff is to learn, is all about the, growing and stuff. And so, I don't know what that guy's lessons were. I was just like, I couldn't believe it when he said that, and that he was serious. It was, man, because it is not going to recover. The economy is not going to recover. The dollar is over. It's built on corruption. This is the end of corruption. This is like all the things that were built on corruption are ending, and they're all going down. It's an energetic thing. It's not like, anybody has control over it. It's energetics. The universe has got the control over it. The universe is separating. It's like certain energies are separating. And those kind of energies that are that like toxic, that's what I'm constantly saying. You got to heal that stuff. If that stuff is in you, you've got to separate yourself from that so that you are not being drugged down, because the energy is going and it's not going forward. And all of the things that all the ways that they got us to build our houses, it was all built on a sandy foundation on the side of a hill, built out of hay in a place where there's windstorms. Everything was set up for us to always have to buy more, always have situations and issues, force us into insurances, and insurances, their whole thing, and the way that they drive the prices, and like it's all corruption. All of it. When I just was driving back, this just really chapped in my ass. So I was driving and this truck like pulled up, and so I noticed it, and I was like, that kind of looks like the water guy. And I was like, what the fuck does that guy just drive around all day? And so then I see, oh, it's a water guy, but it's not our district. That's our water district is separate from this one. It's like one neighborhood over, and they have a whole motherfucking giant ass water district. And then I started looking at all of the houses on their water district. And then I was like, this is such a motherfucking scam. I swear to motherfucking God. They have got, it's like they just gave gangsters. Oh yeah, you can take that one. Yeah, you have those resources. You're in control. Like, we are run by motherfucking gangsters. And then they just do like, oh yeah, you're under this water district. Well, what the fuck? And then they force people to go on their sewage systems and force people off their wells. Man, this place. Oh, God. I can't believe there's anybody who wants to hold on to it. I can't believe there's anybody who wants, like, what have you gotten from it? I mean, this old guy, like, what does he think? That he won? That he wants to keep this thing going? Even when he's sitting there talking, and this is an old guy who had to leave his house in California, sell some expensive house, move someplace where the houses were way cheaper. Well, I mean, he's still over here in northern Washington State, so it's still as expensive, like Northern California or something. Oregon, like all this whole area over here is expensive as fuck. And then you got all these fucking media people, Hollywood people, the tech people. Like up here where I'm at, it's like all these tech people. So all these rich ass people. And so anyways, I mean, I wouldn't think it would be that huge of a jump from selling your house in California to move here. If you moved over to Spokane, yeah, you would have some extra money probably. But just the way that they think, that it's people who have all this money. No, it's fucking corporations who are fucking inflating the prices and driving up the cost and buying everything out from under us so that they can drive up the cost. It's like, And I just don't get. I just don't get how, like, there's so many people who are just so satisfied. It's like they've never tasted the sweetness of independence or something. That they're just, because everything is a payoff. Nothing is for free. You think about, like, anything that they give you for free, how much work you have to do to get the thing that's for free. It's like nothing is for free. It's all fucking games. It's all shenanigans, and it's all there to just keep us running in circles, to keep us frustrated. And so it blows my mind. I just couldn't even believe that he even thought that there would be a recovery. It's like, I mean, I don't know what group he's in. I mean, maybe I'm just heavy into, like, all conspiracy people who are in all these religious people. Like, I've got groups of people who think Jesus is about to come, groups of people who think we're about to go in this horrible Armageddon situation. There's he was the first one that was like, oh no, everything's gonna be fine, it's gonna recover, we'll see, everything's gonna be great. It's like, oh man, I don't know what group of people that you hang out with. Maybe it's a church group, because I've sent some stuff to my mom too, where it's like, what? Like, I don't know. The church would definitely be manipulating people's minds and stuff, because they're part of the problem. That's one thing too. Is it this lady? I think it's this lady who has this affidavit out, who's doing the podcasts and stuff, trying to get her information out or something, that she I always do that. Okay, so she has a podcast to get her information out, and that she was something. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Something or other. I don't know. All I know is that there is, all this stuff that is going on. It's going to keep going on. It's going to keep being like, to me, it feels like, fuck, I don't want to drive over any bridges. They're going to be just fucking blowing up bridges now. I mean, they've already been like derailing trains, blowing up bridges, blow up buildings. Like, you just never know. But whatever it is that happens is supposed to happen. So, and it's not like you can run from it, but it makes you feel like that. Like, it's like, like you got to hide out or something. It's like, but nothing can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. And, because what was that? Was there something else about, I don't know. I don't know if there's something else. I've already been talking for a while. I said I wasn't going to do really long. But was that, have I covered everything? Because it seemed like that there was something else. Okay, because they've got all this stuff going on today, which is going to bring down more people, especially now. He's got a fucking tunnel with the submarine access or whatever, his water access under. And, but he's just going to be a link to a whole bunch. And then plus, there's even a whole thing like, is he one of the ones that they're taking that, like, he's, like, there's certain ones that they'll throw under the bus first, and because he's darker skinned, that they're going to destroy him, and it's a way that they can take his money. If somebody's saying that this is a way that they can get money back to them by taking money out of their account, is there's something about like a lot of the people who are like rich celebrities or something, and they say like, oh, they're worth blah 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 something, and supposedly like Diddy's worth like $900 million, so he's almost a billionaire or something. But then they're saying that no, how it really works is they get some houses and they get like a certain amount, but there's a certain amount of money that they can't access. They can't just get to it. It's like held under this control. And so they can have these certain things, but they can't just get all their money, so that they can take him down, destroy him with media, and suck all his money out. Like, but he is just one of the fucking players. Like, there's a whole bunch of them, but then they can take his money out of his account and shift it around. And so that's what they're doing. I don't know, it sounds reasonable to me. It sounds like the kind of shenanigans they would do. So, but then if they do that kind of stuff, then that's going to have him tell more stuff. So everything is just going to keep picking up steam. There's going to be more and more telling, more and more. And there's going to be more and more people who are just oblivious. And, it's because they're supposed to go through that experience. He's supposed to go through the experience of this extreme loss, whatever his attachment is, to not see this coming, to not have any idea. But it will be with the houses, because I saw this economy guy talking about it with how they did those loans. So they've got all these people underwater. So they gave them a loan for like their houses for $500,000, but the house is really worth $125,000. And so they do all this jacking it up. And so they've got this loan for this huge amount of money. And then when it crashes, then it's like, well, we're not going to give you this loan. Now you owe less money. Well, how in the fuck can you owe money for something? Like, you see the shenanigans, but it's like, those are things where people have got to wake up and see and fight their fight back. So, and I don't know, like, that could go on for a week or two of some stuff. Like, there's going to keep being all different things, because, like, there's some stores and stuff that, would tell you can only use cash. And there's weird stuff too, like the Nickelodeon logo is the same. Like, if you colored in the map of Epstein Island, that little shenanigans over there, it's like the same. And then, there's a weird one with the logo of Walmart and stuff. Like, all these places, they represent, like, people go, like, I want to go shopping at Walmart because I can save money. But you are supporting something that is destroying the economy, destroying the world. So you're not really saving anything. You're a part of the disaster. You're a part of what's creating the problem. You see what I mean? But they get people trapped into that. I was thinking about this even because when I was driving in town, I'd go past the dollar store and I was thinking, oh, like, look at that. I could go in the dollar store and get a whole bunch of stuff for the money I have, more items. I was thinking that's what they do. They get people to think like, well, more is better. I get more items. I better go get those. And then I think that even like the dollar store and stuff, that they are even having stuff come like Chinese companies making things that are like spin-offs, like we think it's Dole tomatoes or something, but it's really some Chinese thing, because they've got way different stuff on the foods and stuff, and it's like not all the stores will sell it, but the dollar stores will, but you go and you look at it and you think like it's name brands and stuff. So there's just a lot of shenanigans. And China has shown, like, they take name brands of stuff and then they make spin-offs on everything. Like, they feed off of, like, parasitically feed off of someone else's reputation, someone else's logo, someone else's energetic imprint. They just feed off of it by copying it. So anyways, we have all this stuff happening, and there will be more disasters. I thought like that was lucky that there was only like 20 people or something that they figure was on the bridge. So I was like, Jesus Christ, you know how lucky that wasn't done like during rush hour? Like, because there will be some stuff, I'm sure, where it's going to be like huger amounts of people that will go down at one time. So there's people who think like, oh, well, this is the Black Swan event. I think this is more of to keep people like, is this government fighting? Like, who's attacking us? And then they're gonna have to all all roads will lead back to it's our own government, but it's not our government. It's this special force that has been globally trying to take over through being able to use people as puppets because of their perversion and weird shit that can be held over them. So, but that they've got so much power here. That's what people have got to wake up to and see, like, who's really in control here. It's not us. It's not anybody who's on our side. These people are out to get us. They're poisoning us. They're making us pay for poison. Make us pay for the antidote. These people are wicked. So, anyways, but it's their bad karma. We're breaking free. We get to break free, and then we get a do-over. That's what's cool. Is like once we break free from this, we get a do-over, and we're not going back to their same shit. There's nothing that we're gonna do that's the same. And I think that's what all this stuff, everything that you keep hearing about is so that you kind of reevaluate, think about things, and, you know, like all the things you won't accept. Because the people who are still like so dead ass asleep, they're just willing to accept so much abuse. Like even with that old man, it's like, dude, how much shit will you take from this government? It's like, ugh, this is some fucking nonsense. So, anyways, that is it. We're gonna see if I can make it for. Let's see if I can make it for 12 hours at least. We'll see if we can do it for 24. It's like 2 p.m. So we'll see if we can meet back here tomorrow around 2. Well, it will be more like 5 for you, for how long it takes to download. But anyways, we'll see. But I could be back in the middle of the night. There's no telling. I could go back on TikTok and there's another fucking thing, some more shenanigans going on. Right now, it just seems like everybody's really spinning out on and going deeper in. Like there's more information coming out, like on Diddy, the bridge, you know, more and more stuff. So, but it's just going to keep going. It's just going to keep picking up steam. And I don't know where it's all going to go. It's like the same thing when a tornado goes through your town. It's like you don't know what's going to be there until after the tornado. And so that's where we got to be like, we just got to ride out the storm. And then it's like clean up the debris once we get through it. And it's going to be, you know, a lot of waste. There's going to be a lot of people like that. You know, there'll be a lot of people like that old man. They're just going to be like, what? Like, fuck. Like they start fucking having, like, I don't even know. Like there's people who are like, they start doing alien shit and stuff. Like there will be people who will there are people who will suicide themselves. They'll be so scared. Like, oh my God, I have no idea what's to come. But it seems like Twitter, it seems like, Twitter is definitely trying to release out some information, like because even Elon posted something explaining how like this takeover that we've been going through. And so anyways, and that's something that was like off conspiracy pages. And so he's like, and you know, you remember too, is Donald is a conspiracy theorist. I think Joe Rogan, but I don't know what his part is, like playing in this whole thing. But what's the other guy's name? The one who's always yelling, Alex Jones. Like, there's a lot of conspiracy. I think that Elon probably is too. I think a lot of the people who are in there are like have suspicious bones in their body. Like they look at things more suspiciously because it's a part of their role. It's part of what they're here to play. But anyways, you know, that there is, you know, this is all a conspiracy. There's all a giant fucking conspiracy against us to keep us trapped, to keep us under their control. And so, yeah, it's best to look into some conspiracies with an open mind. Don't be thinking like, oh, yeah, that's just made up. Like, I feel sorry for the people who are just that mind trapped. Like, I don't even know how this awakening is going to affect them. And I don't know if some of those people are going to be people who are just going to opt out. There'll be ones that, you know, go in a big bang of glory or something. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. But I feel like things are really going now. Like, and it can keep going, like right through this eclipse thing. Don't let them even make you think like, well, up until the 8th, that will be the problem. It can be already going this whole time. We can have stuff going. There's been a lot of earthquakes. There's been a lot of different things. And I just think it's so weird how there was that big thing in the sky above, and then that bridge went down. So, and but there's people who want to believe that that is all a natural occurrence, like everything that happened, that's just all on the up and up. It's like, but then I'm sure are convinced that the towers, it was really a plane. That's what would make it all go like that. Like, no, that's impossible. So, just like what they're saying about this thing, just the way it all goes too. It's like, I don't know. Isn't there any parts that would stay? Like, so you hit into this and it, I don't know. I don't know. This is like the end of this whole reality. So and I don't know if it's all going to make sense. It's all going to be just like, because I just looked weird. It's like, so the bridge on that side of so it has these different parts holding it up. So this part, that whole thing went, this whole part, so that should be held by this other part. Why is it going because this part goes? And then over here, so it's like, why is there nothing that stays up? Like, how do they put this shit together? It's like, oh, let's just make a long fucking thing that, I don't know. And I don't know if they made that thing a long time ago. I mean, that's something that they've tried to, like, I know Donald was saying about the infrastructure. I know that keeps being brought up and stuff because they haven't been putting our tax money and money back into the cities and building them up. Everything is corrupted. They aren't doing things to, what is that? Because there's something weird right now too with barges or something. So something with the barges and stuff not moving or something. Because everything is they're trying to create everything to fall apart. So as much as you let them make you feel like you're going to fall apart, that's them doing it. Like, you got to fight back against it. And don't get caught up in all of their shenanigans and their bullshit. That's all I can say. Like, just got to keep on seeing through it. Keep in observation. Get to the back of the party. Sit with the guy in the back of the room and, light up a stogie and just watch it all play out. And talk to them. They'll talk you through it. So just don't get caught up in fear. But you got to go through your process. If you're feeling scared and you're feeling blah, 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 and this and that, and sick and sad, and you got to feel your feelings. You got to process through them. But just try as hard as you can not to get stuck. Give yourself a certain amount of time and then nudge yourself to keep moving, because there's going to be a lot to keep processing. And there's a lot that is overwhelming, and you don't want to just get stuck. So keep it moving and remember to love yourself and to love everyone and have a loving day. And I'll see you back here in a little while. Bye.